What is up, collectors? Josh from Vintage Card Wonderland coming at you with another video. This is a special one. This one goes out to, it's a VR response for Mike, baseball collector. He had put out an interesting video recently that talked about 10 cards he wanted to acquire in his lifetime before he dies. I thought in my lifetime's a little less morbid, so we'll say in my lifetime. So I decided to go through and make a video talking about the 10 cards I would like to acquire in my lifetime. I think as I go along in my collecting, as every collector does, we kind of refine what we're interested in. And what I'm finding is if a card is not bringing me joy, I'm trying to move on from those cards and kind of trim away some of the extra cards, so I'm left with all of the rich and beautiful cards in my collection. And for what that means for me is fewer cards, more iconic cards, and in a lot of cases sometimes more pricey cards, but fewer of them, so I can enjoy them and display them all without having them fill up boxes and so forth. Again, everybody has to collect how they would like to, but I think the reason why I'm mentioning that, you'll notice in these 10 cards that these would be cards that, you know, are more acquired throughout your lifetime cards, bigger cards, bigger whales, if you will, and a lot of cards that people will recognize and I'm sure want to add to their collection as well. So these 10 cards are in no particular order, just 10 cards I would like to acquire. And again, one more time, shout out to Mike, baseball collector, for making this fun challenge. A lot of people do it on camera. I decided just to do a fun little slideshow demonstration. You guys kind of know what I look like. You don't need to see my face. Let's look at the cards. So without further ado, let's talk about my top 10. Okay, guys. Number 10, in no particular order, as I said. 1949 Leaf, Ted Williams. Nothing screams kind of post-war cards, Americana, like Ted Williams, and this particular Leaf card is just an absolute beautiful card. The beautiful colors. You guys know the 49 Leaf set is chock full of fantastic cards, whether it's, you know, Satchel Paige, whether it's Jackie Robinson, whether it's Stan Musial, whether it's Warren Spahn, Babe Ruth, and Ted Williams being one of the bigger cards in that set. And you can see the rich colors. This card kind of, I don't know why, it kind of reminds me of the 4th of July. But I love the colors in this card. I love his pose and his swing and his kind of looking off into the distance kind of look to him. And so little red, white, and blue, Teddy Ball Game. You can't go wrong with this card, and one which I'm hoping to add at some point in my lifetime. All right, going to number 9, 1952 Topps Willie Mays. I actually at one point owned a version of this card. It was very rough. It was authentic altered. It was heavily trimmed, and it just was not bringing me the joy I wanted. So I decided to reallocate those card funds, and I sold it, I don't know, half a year ago or so. And so I'm looking for a, you know, low grade 1 to 2 beautiful example. Like Mike, if you're listening, the beautiful example you have would do just fine. Here, one, which is gorgeous on the front, has a little bit of paper add or loss on the back. I am perfectly fine with that. But for me, it's got to have that rich registration on the front. It's got to have good centering and a good image. So those would be the requirements. And again, that makes this card pretty tough to find a version like that in low grade. But I can't afford a 3, 4, 5, 6. It's just too pricey. So hopefully one will land in my lap at some point. If you guys have a good example, I would love to see it. Number 8, keeping with the theme, in 1952 Topps being a really iconic post-war set. The Jackie Robinson within that set. Jackie does not have many cards. This is, I think, in my opinion, one of his best because of not only the image, but the rich red color. And 52 Topps is just a fantastic set. One which is continuing to ascend in the ranks of cost and collectability, as it always has been. But even new collectors coming in know of this set and would like to acquire the bigger players if you can afford it. So again, I'm looking for a lower grade copy of this card. I would love to add it at some point in my lifetime. Okay, I believe this is 54 Dandy. Let me see, what year is that? Dandy potato chips. I'm looking it up right now, guys. Yeah, I think it's 54. This is a 54 Dandy potato chips, Mickey Mantle. There are some other great cards in that set. You have Larry Doby, Monty Irvin, I think Bob Feller, and some other greats, but you cannot go wrong with the Mick. The Mick is the hobby goat, as you guys know, and what is not there's nothing not to love. Is that double negative? What is not to love? How about we say that? What is not to love about this fantastic card, whether it's kind of the rich, kind of purplish background, the classic Yankees cap, the smiling Mick, just with a more kind of, I don't know if it's kind of a nostalgic kind of 50s style photographic like image in it, and it's just a really fantastic card. Again, these dandies are lower population. They're not like, it's not like they never come up, but they're fairly rare. They're out there, but this card is really gotten really pricey. So definitely comic card, and in a low grade, it'll set you back a couple thousand. So at least. So this is one, hoping the right one comes along at some point to add. But I love this dandy set. I have the Larry Doby, and I'd like to add a couple others, in particular this bigger card, Mickey Mantle. So this is probably not on many people's lists, but this is the 1945-46 Carmelo Deportivo Orestes Mini Minoso. The Carmelo Deportivo set, it was issued in Cuba in the 45 and 46 Cuban Winter League season. And the term Carmelo Deportivo kind of loosely translates in Spanish to sporting caramels. And the set has 100 cards in it. We're not quite sure whether all 100 were distributed, but they have very thin, like almost like newsprint or newspaper-like thickness and quality to them. The front is black and white, and it's got kind of that little circled card number in the lower portion of the card. And they were actually made with albums made for the set. So a lot of these were either glued in or stapled in. Thankfully, the glue, this particular Cuban glue is like more water soluble. So a lot of people have been able to soak them out of these albums, unlike a lot of the Venezuelans where it's like rubber cement. So this is Minnie Minoso's kind of true rookie card, or his pre-Topps rookie card when it comes to him, I think 52 Bowman and Topps being where he was first released. But this card is very rare. There are some other big names in the set. You have other famous players like Martin DeHigo, Ray Dandridge, and some other Louis Tion Sr., some other big players within that set. But because this is a rare card, it is a pricey card and one that's hard to find. They're out there, but you're going to pay for a low-grade one. You know, it's a comic card for sure. And because Minnie Minoso has got such rich history, being the first Afro-Cuban player in the majors, he's just very important to me, and I collect him. And so this is definitely one that I want to round out my collection. Let's go to number 5, 1933 Goudey, Lou Gehrig. This is a iconic card that a lot of people either have or want in their collection. It appears twice in the 33 Goudey set. Doesn't matter to me which one I get. I just want a nice example of one for the grade. Again, also would be low grade. Just reflecting back on the Minoso, one other thing about the Deportivo cards is you can't find them above a 1 or 1.5 or maybe a 2 at the most because they were so fragile and damaged. This card you can find in higher grades, but it's going to set you back a ton of money. So again, looking for a low grade 1 to 2 in this with a good registration and color. He tends to have a lot of blurriness to his face, and I'd like a nice rich blue color and a nice good registration. So that's definitely one on the list. This is a card that has really ascended in desirability over the last few years. This is a 54 Wilson Franks. Ted Williams came with these Wilson Franks hot dogs. I have the Roy Campanella in this set. This is a tough card. It's rare. It's not scarce. They are out there, but they are hugely expensive. And so if you want a one, you're going to pay, you know, $4 to $6 grand for a one, meaning a PSA SGC one. But I mean, who could argue with the image of this Ted Williams swinging through a big floating hot dog? And there's not a whole lot of cards that are like all white, with the white really kind of, the player pops against the background, his image, and even the coloring of the hot dogs and his name in red, his jersey and his red in his uniform on his socks. So it's just a fantastic card. It's one of those cards that I think any collector or non-collector sees that just kind of captures them and can't look away. So this is one that I'm hoping to add for sure. This is one that most people probably don't know about. This is a 1967 Topps Venezuela, Roberto Clemente. It came from the 67 Topps Venezuela set, which a lot of people feel was a bootleg set made by Sport Grafico, the developers of that magazine in Venezuela. And it was split into three parts. The first part is the Venezuelan Winter Leaguers, and the middle part is a 50-card set of the retired Hall of Famers and greats called the Retirados, and then the tail end of the third part of the set is the Major Leaguers that they decided to produce. This is a high number. It is a very, 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 very short print. I mean, there's maybe graded less than 10, and they are just you do not see them. You will not find any on eBay right now. You will not find any in auction houses. If a Venezuelan dealer or collector gets enlisted, they're almost immediately sold. So as you can imagine, supply and demand, Roberto Clemente being very collectible, this card has seen it go 2, 3, 4, 5x. And again, you're not going to find it in high grade. You'll find it in 1s and 2s. And you can see the back. It's a blue back, and it's got a description of the player all in Spanish, as does the rest of the set, but the Winter Leaguers have a red back and the Retirados have a green back, but all the backs are in Spanish. And it looks much like his 67 Topps, but again, it's like more of almost like a cartoonish image rather than a photographic image. But I really love this card. It's just such a fantastic card. And as with any collector, we enjoy the thrill of the chase, right? And if you can chase one of these down, more power to you, because they are just not out there. So this is one, in all likelihood, I'm probably never going to be able to add in my lifetime, but we can hope, keep our eyes open, and I hope that the right opportunity arises to do that. All right, next on the list, 1949 Bowman Leroy Satchel Paige. I just love this card. I love the color on this card, the kind of greenish color. I love the color of the blue and red in his cap. I love his image. As you guys know, Satchel Paige does not have a whole lot of cards. He actually has a Venezuelan Retirado from 67 post playing days. I love that card. I have that. But as far as playing days cards, he does not have a lot. He's got his 49 Leaf, which is hugely expensive. He's got his 53 Topps, which I have, which is a fantastic card. But his quote, a version of his rookie card, this would be one that I could afford. And so this is one that I'm hoping to add to my collection. I think it's just a fantastic card. And the kind of, you guys will notice, like the recurring themes for me in my collecting is like image and color. Like I like cards with a lot of rich, bright colors because I feel like they display well against each other, to have a variety of different colors and displays that you can display those. The colors can kind of, you know, contrast each other, and the images can. So this is just a fantastic card for so many reasons, and one which I hope to add. All right, and the final card, as you guys know, 1951 Bowman Mickey Mantle rookie card. Again, I'm never going to afford his 52 tops. In a perfect world, that would be great. But a low grade 51, maybe in a 1, in a PSA or SGC 1, I could see that happening. But I love this card. I mean, Mickey Mantle is so important to the hobby, and his story is so important to the game of baseball as well as the game of collecting and vintage. So I love the image of this. I love the background, the colors, and I still don't, for the life of me, know why this card is quote unquote so cheap compared to his 52 tops. I mean, I get the allure of it and how that's more iconic, but this is his true rookie. So to me, it means more to me to own in the long run. So yeah. So this is all I got, guys. I thought this was a really fun exercise. Shout out to Mike, Baseball Collector. I'd love to hear what you guys would have on your lists. And we're all on this journey together, hoping to kind of, add to our collections, find the cards that make us happy, refine our collecting, continue to develop and expand our collections, and kind of mold it into something that makes us happy. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do. And hopefully in the next couple of years, while I still have a few less gray hairs, and while I'm still out of the retirement home, I can add some of these cards. So it was a lot of fun, lots of fun to make this video. And until the next time, guys, keep collecting your cards, keep enjoying your collections.